Hey guys, welcome to our very first live. So, as you can see tonight, Jennifer's not with us. This was a very last minute thing that we came up with and decided to do after, my weird weekend in the LBL. But I'm glad you all came to hang out with us tonight and participate in the stories of all the things that we had go on this weekend. And I do have a co-host tonight. I think you all are going to be tickled to death to see who it is. I know I am. So without further ado, let's bring her on. Yay! That's my girl.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody in chat. So good to see everybody. Thank you
Yes,
for
and
having
we just
me.
got all kinds of people in chat tonight. I'm so excited.
I know. We got so many people over there.
I know our tribe is here tonight. They're showing support. Yay! Yay!
Yes.
Super excited. So,
yeah, you want me to do a quick roll call?
Yes,
I haven't done one. I haven't
absolutely.
done a roll call in so long, Marianne. Let's see if I can remember how to do it.
Remember how to do it?
I don't know. Let's see if I can remember how to do it.
Okay.
We have tonight. All right. We've got Blue-Eyed Northern. Hi to you, my old friend. Long time no
I know
see.
she's gonna cook me Cajun when I come down there.
Oh my gosh, I love Cajun food.
I know.
And we've got Stormy. Hi, Stormy. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Stormy.
We got Elijah. Hi, Elijah.
Hey, Eli.
We've got Chris Blaylock. Hey, Chris. Can't wait to meet you.
It's my girl, Chris.
And let's see. We have Miss Cindy Bailey in the house. We've got Bobby Sledge. Nice.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah, nice that you could be here.
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
Who did I miss? Let's see. We've got Robert Matler. Hi, Robert. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
We got Troy in Tennessee.
It's the man. That's the cook. It's Troy. Let me tell you what, this man can cook. Oh my gosh.
Goonie Goo Goo is here also with us.
That man can cook too. There's no shade there at all.
We got Flat Rock. Hey there, Flat Rock.
I got to meet Flat Rock. I'm so excited. I got to meet him in person this weekend.
He's amazing.
He is.
You know what he loves to do to me? He loves to photobomb me. He loves to sneak up when I'm doing a selfie with somebody, and then he's all like, hey.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. I love it.
Oh gosh, I hope I didn't. We have Marty.
Miss Cuz. Yep, she's here. She's here.
We got Lost Old Truck 66 with us tonight. Thank you for being here as well.
That's Drew. That's my Drew Squatch.
Okay. We've got Ristel. Hi, Ristel. Thanks for being here.
Glad you could be here. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I got everybody. Oh my gosh, it felt so good to do that.
Right? That's amazing. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
So tonight we're going to talk about our adventures in the LBL. But before we do that, I want to talk to you guys about something else. I know this is pretty early on for us to do this, but I wanted to go ahead and do it because you've all have spent time with me. You know what I'm about. So we have, we're going to put up, we have a Cash App now that we're going to put up, and we have our Venmo. And it's going to be on the ticker, and it's going to be in the chat. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it for a minute because I want you to know if you decide to contribute to that, where it's going to go. So when I started my conference, I started it with cash out of my pocket. And my goal was to put on a conference and make enough money to pay myself back, right? So every year, my conference, the money I make goes right back into next year's conference. I don't put it in my pocket because a good business plan, you do not take money away for the first 5 years. That all goes back into your account, right? So that's what we're doing. And when we go out and do expeditions and things like that, it's like we're not taking that cash for ourselves. I have bought equipment and things like that. So it's like, I want you all to know, if you decide to support us that way, that's what you're doing. You are helping us buy equipment. You are helping us go into other areas, things like that. That's what the money is going to go for with us. I want you all to understand where it's going, that it's being put back into what we're doing. These speakers, they cost money. I got to rent porta potties so y'all don't get mad at me. We got to have the amenities, and as you all know, yeah, we cook at these, and food's not cheap anymore. So, and we want to make these events things that you all want to come back to. So, we're just taking a minute to tell you, this is where our funding goes. This is what we do. We take care of our people. This is where our money goes. This is where our money's going to continue to go, because I don't foresee me making any money off this for another couple of years. And that's just how it is, because I want to have a good business established and ready to go. So, yeah. With that being said, that's my soapbox for the night. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. So come on, guys, let's get some, some support for the boots on the ground stuff. Yeah. And it's not like you don't. One of the things I love about you, Marianne, is that how inclusive you are. And it's kind of like you're building that tribe, and you guys have talked about that quite a bit on your channel. And yes. I love the fact that, you're building a network of these amazing people. And in order to continue to bring quality expeditions and quality, conferences, to have better venues, have better food, have more food for when more people, and not, like you really do that. And you step every year. It's like you step it up, step it up, step it up. So, I thank you. And I know that everybody who's ever been to your conference, any conference you've done so far, just, they're so blessed and that they got a chance, an opportunity to go. I'm happy that I'm going to be there again this year. And I think several people over there in the chat are going to also join us this year. So you guys will see. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about, because she does put her money back into her conference every single year and into her expeditions to bring you guys more quality boots on the ground education and experiences.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. It's the education. Chris and I spoke about that a lot last weekend, and it's education, education, education. And how do we get the younger kids involved and things like that? And like you said, providing a quality product for people is what is going to bring people back. They know that they're going to get quality for the time that they have to take off, for the money that they're spending. It's actually really worth it.
Yes,
so
100%.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this weekend. And I'm glad you're here, because you've been to the LBL before, correct?
I have. I've been there, and I have interviewed numerous people that have, researched there and been there, and a lot of stories, a lot of lore, a lot of history. I saw that your producer put in the description, if anybody hasn't seen it yet, the producer did put down in the show description quite a bit of information about the LBL, kind of give you guys a little synopsis about what it, some of the lore, some of the history, some of the spooky stuff, some of the scary stuff. And you might find that interesting to check that out later on. So yeah, I'm familiar. It's a creepy place. It's a weird place.
It's definitely interesting. I was thinking about that today, about, how we say, oh, it's weird, and it's like, well, it is, but what if the way that place is normal for that place?
I think it is.
And because I'm a firm believer in it all has to do what's in the ground, the minerals, right? That's what makes these places different, because we have places in Missouri, it's the same thing. And one of the things that my guide this weekend showed me was the mineral, they call them, like, they dig for minerals, and then they look like mini ponds, right? And, I remember seeing them thinking, what is that? That looks like an awful small pond. Do they have mini ponds over here? What are we doing? And he did tell me, like, when he was walking us back in, there was actually a little bit bigger pond. And he said, that's where they've dug for minerals, doing like sample digs, right? They just leave them. They don't fill them back in. They just leave them, and they fill up with water. Some of them hold water, some of them don't. But so they've been digging for minerals there, right?
I know that there are, I know that there's a couple of spots there. I couldn't tell you exactly where, because I'm from memory, I can't remember, but there's a couple areas there that you can go and just find hematite everywhere.
Oh,
like
okay.
in the water, like near the shore, like it just, yeah. So like there's a lot of like different things. I also too, don't quote me anybody on this, because I'm not an expert. I'll never say I'm an expert, but if I Google, and I'll Google right now if you want. And I think I have because how they talk about ley lines, right? And that there's ley lines.
Yes.
And I think that there are ley lines that are, I think that go through the LBL. Let me look.
Troy says the Hematite Lake.
Hematite Lake. There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what
exactly.
I can find with.
And Chris says they do have copper mines. So see, it's the same thing. Like here in Missouri, a part of the state that is really weird, right, has had a lot of UFOs, just weird stuff. We have some of the largest lead mines. They were the major producers of lead back in the early 1900s. And ever since then, that area has been known as like the UFO capital in Missouri. So it's something to do with what's in the ground. I mean, it attracts, it does whatever. I mean, it's just weird. Just weird stuff.
I think Uncle Google's broken. It's not helping me tonight.
It went on strike tonight. It's like, no.
He's on strike. He wants to come to the conference. Is there an extra spot at the expedition?
Yeah. Go ahead and bring it. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Uncle Google, you're invited.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly. So, yeah, we went down there and we were camping out in Colson's Hollow, and it was just incredible. Oh, there's Jennifer. She's gotten done and she's popped in. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
This place, when you pull into it, it's huge. Oh my God, it's huge. And it's, so that's where we camped. And the first evening, it was me and Robert. And of course, we had Levi with us. Levi has become another one of my children.
I love it. I can't wait to meet him.
Oh, he's hysterical. And then John and Lou and Vicky and Elizabeth. And so we just went back up. And if you drove all the way back out to the road, the asphalt, you could just kind of do a U-turn, and there was another dirt road, and we went down it, right? And they're like, oh, when we get to the end of it, there's a turnaround, like a loop, and we'll just sit there, right, for a while. So we drive all the way to this road. And I mean, it's like one truck wide is all it is. We get to the end of the road. We're following John. And I sent you the video of, the road. And we get down there. There is somebody camping right there in the turnaround. We couldn't even get into the turnaround. They had it blocked. And so we're like, holy crap, So John gets out of the truck because somebody comes out of the, out from the tent. He's like, hey, we were just driving, we're not here to cause problems, right? And so then we're like, okay, what do we do? Well, you could back up and back into the other side of the turnaround, but it was tight, right? So John got in there. Robert got in there, we got turned around. And so we came back out. We went quite a ways back up the road, and we decided just to stop there and, just hang out for a little while. And let me tell you what, it's dark out there. We turned the lights on, and you can't see your hand in front of your face. Plus we were under tree canopy and everything else, so we're like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, we sat up there for quite a while, and it just, nothing going on too much. And Levi is a ufologist. So he's got gadgets and toys and things, and he tried things, and we weren't having anything go on. So he walked down the road from us for a while, and he said, I'm going to try something down here. So I'm sitting on the back of the tailgate, and I'm watching him, and I can see him because he has a red light on. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, he looks like he's like floating, right? And I
like floating off the ground, like.
And Vicky had came over, and she was sitting by me at that point. We're sitting on the tailgate of the truck, and I finally said I said out loud, he looks like he's floating. And Robert goes, he's not. And Robert had his night vision. He was watching. He goes, I can see his feet are touching the ground. At about that time, Vicky said, yeah, he looks like he's floating. And it looked like he was floating and moving in a circle, right? And sometimes it looked like he was higher and lower. And so we're talking about that. And Robert's like, he is not floating.
Resident skeptic.
Right. Well, he had night vision on him. He could see him. He's like, his feet are on the ground. But I swear to you, it was the weirdest thing. Optical illusion. I don't know what it was, but it looked like the boy was floating, and we
Vicky
were just
saw him, and Vicky saw it looked that way to her as well. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, it's not that we were any higher or any lower than Robert, because we were sitting on the tailgate, which made us about the same height as him, standing there, look in the same direction. We were all basically in the same general spot, right? And he was down there, and so he came back, and he's like, so I said, just hold on. I said, it looked like you were floating. He said, what? I said, yeah, it looked like you were floating. And Vicky's like, yeah, it looked like you were floating. And he's like, that is wild, And he's like, well, I didn't. My feet were on the ground. Robert said, that's what I said. Your feet were on your ground.
So Robert's like, I got to clarify.
Right, exactly. He's like, his feet were on the ground, and we were kind of laughing, but it was just weird. I don't know what it was, don't know, but that was about the only odd thing that happened. That was Friday night. And so Saturday that was Friday night. Saturday, we got up, and Chris had set up for this local gentleman to take us out, and we had gone out, and it was so funny. We're just driving, and Robert's like, I don't know that I can find my way back to this place, right? And he's usually really good at navigating. And
it's really confusing there. It's so huge, and it's just twists and turns. Dirt roads here, dirt road there, go 12 feet, another dirt road. I mean, there's no landmarks other than the cemetery. Like, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So, like,
all 230 some cemeteries. It's just absolutely mind blowing. But and at one point we're driving along, and I'm looking down, and there's guardrails, right? So we know there's either water or a high embankment of some sort there, right? But the grass is to the top of the cab of the truck, not just the hood of the truck, the cab of the truck. And I'm
who
like,
knows what's in there,
right? Now this is in the daylight, we're driving along, and I'm like, okay. And so we get to this cemetery, and we get out, and we're looking around at the cemetery, and then we go down the trail. And we crossed this bridge that we probably shouldn't have been on. It was a wooden bridge at one point, and now it is just the metal girders, essentially, the skeleton of the bridge, right?
Okay.
And so we're like going across it, everybody made it. We're all good. Yeah. And he was talking about that there's a lot of activity there, right? And he's like, I don't understand it. And I looked up and we were surrounded by pawpaw trees.
And now that's interesting.
Right. And I'm like, that's why you have activity here. You've got the water, you've got the pawpaw trees,
Yes.
And it was funny. I was talking to Shane this evening, telling him about it. And he goes, oh, the pawpaws, right? I said, exactly. I said there was a whole grove of pawpaws.
That's amazing. Water source, main food source. I mean, and if I remember correctly, Shane had said that the pawpaws, they found the seeds in their scat in the winter time.
Yes, which makes him wonder if they're storing them somewhere.
Yeah.
Because pawpaws ripen up into September. So if they're finding them in the winter, they're eating them, that's not going to be in the scat left from, and it was fresh scat that they found it in too. So that was interesting. But yeah, so we're back there just checking it out. I mean, it's a really cool area. And we start back and we're walking along and all of a sudden there's like this big thud that sounds like something large has dropped out of a tree.
No.
And, yeah. And I'm like looking around and Chris goes, yep, I heard that too. It's okay. Okay. So we keep walking along, I don't know, about 20, 30 feet farther down the trail. And we're all like walking single file down this trail. It did it again. It sounded like something large dropped out of the tree. And it's like, Chris goes, yep, I hear that again, And at that time, the guy that was our guide, he was like, what's going on? And we told him, and he's like, okay, come on, let's go. So we kind of like
wrap it up.
Let's get out of here. And so, we did. And I noticed, I was starting to kind of get a headache while we were out there. Not bad, but, just a little bit, right? So by the time we headed out, we got back to the road, it's gone. It's not out there anymore. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, which that had been one of the things that they were talking about is sometimes how oppressive it can be, the feeling out there is,
Yes.
And so it was like that headache. I hadn't really thought about it until we got in the truck. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting, But so we went back to camp and, did our thing, had our meal. And that evening, we decided to go back out. And so we were on our way into this one area. And like, I can't tell you, if I had to go back out there and find them, I wouldn't find them. I'm just not, right?
It is, yeah, it's a lot. It's a big area.
But we're following the other truck, and we're going down this hill, and it's on a back road, dirt road, whatever. And I mean, all of a sudden, the back end of the truck, it's like, kabam! And Robert's like,
what the heck?
Yeah. We're all like, what the crap? And he's looking, he's like, there's not a pothole. I didn't hit a pothole. And then, he's like, there's not a stick. What was that? Right. So when we finally stop, we're all out like looking around, whatever. And the gentleman that was guiding us was like, what's going on? And we told him, and he goes, where did that happen? And we said, just right there, right up the road. And he said, my partner has had his truck slapped there also. So we were like, okay. I mean, we expected to get out and find a big old dent in the truck.
Right. That's find like some kind of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Nothing. So, we were like, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, we were did
you feel the truck move at all? Or you just, it's like something you either ran over something or you hit something or something hit you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it was something
like an
that.
impact. like an impact.
Yeah. It was.
Wow.
It was. There was no movement from the impact, but like, when you slap with your hand closed and you slap with your hand open, one of them makes a lot more sound, so it's like, I wondered about that, but it was like, yeah, because as loud as it sounded, if we had been hit with that much force, the back end of the truck would have slid, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but so that was our first weird thing of the evening. And then we loaded
only
up.
Night 2. We're only at night 2.
We're only at night 2.
Night 2.
So then, yes, Troy, we were the last vehicle. There was only 2 vehicles, and we were the last vehicle. So we loaded up and we headed to the other side, which was the lake side, right? And we went to this boat launch, and we get out of the trucks, and it's Chris and the gentleman that's guiding us, Robert and I, David's again, and Levi. And so we get over there, and Levi's, immediately pulling his tech out. He's down there, and he's got a green laser shooting into the sky. And, we're just kind of hanging out, because this area, every time they've been there, or the last 3 times they've been there, has been exceptionally active about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, right? Okay. Well, we were right there at that time. So, we're waiting, and nothing happens. And we're like, okay, that's kind of weird, and it was like, there was a little bit of noise, but it wasn't that like complete and total silence, right?
Yeah.
Right. There was a duck that was quacking, but he sounded odd, and it was just one, right? And then there was like this little rogue frog that does one little ribbit, and he's done. And it was like, okay, that, we're like scratching our head going, okay, this is weird. There was a deer that was across the cove from us, and he wasn't paying any attention to us at all. And we're like, he's just grazing, because we're therming him. So he's not looking at us. Nothing, right? It was like he couldn't hear us.
And there were how many? And how many of there was in your party? How many of you?
6 of us.
And this deer didn't even flinch.
Nope. Didn't act like he even heard us, right? So then we get to noticing at this point that there's boats on the lake, and we can't hear them. We can see the lights. We're standing right down by the water, right? Oh, we can see it lapping up, but you can't hear it.
You couldn't hear the water.
No, we're a foot from the water, and you can't hear the water.
Sound.
No sound. So at this point, Levi has us all moved back up, and he's, phoning home again, doing one of his things. And now we're on the lake. That sound should carry all the way across the lake, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it was really, he's like, he got really frustrated, because he's like, we're on the lake. This sound should freaking carry. It wasn't. So he's doing a couple other things, and we're standing there, and we see this boat come flying around the corner, right there. And if you didn't know it was a boat, you would have just thought it was like an orb coming at us, right? But you could see the water moving, because this boat is flying, and we can't hear it.
Oh my, okay. This is...
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was like we were in a bubble, and the sound wasn't coming in, and our sound wasn't going out.
That's real. That is really weird. I've heard a lot of things, a lot of reports, a lot of encounters. Never have I ever heard anyone say that they were they felt like they were in some bubble where they couldn't hear anything outside it. That's an interesting one.
It was weird, because like I said, we were watching the boats, you can see the lights on them. And it took a minute for us to realize we couldn't hear them, and they weren't that far from us, so it was just like, it was the wildest thing. I don't know. I mean,
That's
we were all just going to
weird.
stand there scratching our head going, what is going on?
Right. Oh my God.
So at
That's so
that
weird.
point, I asked the gentleman, I said, could you take us back to the cemetery we were at today? And he was like, yeah. I said, do you go there at night? He goes, no. I said, but would you take us? And he said, absolutely. I'll take you if you want to go. Right.
Oh, he's my kind of
So,
guide.
right. Yeah. And so we get in and we take off, and Levi's like, where are we going? Where are we going? What are we doing? And I said, oh, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. He goes, then why are we going? He gets all worked up. And let me tell you what, I'm going to have to one time record for you guys the nonsense that goes on in the truck when Levi is with us, because poor David was in the back seat gasping at one point in time because he was laughing so hard at Levi. It's like just this constant, it's just very dry humor, jokes constantly. You just get to the point where you're just like gasping because he won't stop. And then David's pretty funny too. And David was adding to it. Poor Robert has to drive down the road with the three of us, all gasping and howling and carrying on like fools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Levi, at one point, when we drive through the grass that is cab high on the truck, I said, Levi, well, first of all, my window was down. And as we drive up to it, I start rolling the window up real quick. And I said, Levi, there's raptors in the grass. Oh, he lost his mind. He goes, not only do I have to worry about Bigfoot and Dogman, now there's raptors in the grass. Oh my God. He's losing his mind, and I'm just dying laughing at him. Right. And he's like, okay, I'm not liking this. This is really starting to get creepy out here, and the farther we went, he starts praying to the aliens to save us. And I thought David and I were just we just couldn't, at this point.
Were they going to like beam you guys up or something?
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Party of six to beam up, Captain.
Right. It's like, Levi, you go first, tell if it's okay. Right. Come back and tell us if it's all good, But anyway, we kept driving on, and he's wound up at this point. He is losing his ever-loving mind. Right. And he's got his window rolled down and his head stuck out like a dog. Right. And he's got like a headset on like this. And all of a sudden he's like squealing, going, oh my God, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Well, it was like this perfect bell that was outside the truck. Now we're in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Not a metallic sound, but a bell.
A bell. Just ding. Perfect. And I'm like, okay. We're all just looking at each other. And Levi's like, y'all heard that, right? And we're like, yes, we heard it. We absolutely heard it, right? So we get up there and we stop at the cemetery, and Levi's like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And as soon as we pulled up, I looked at him and I said, do not wander away from the group. Because Levi's will do that to you, right? He's like, I'm not going anywhere. He goes, no. So when we got there, we backed in so that if we needed to get out of there in a hurry, we could go. Right? So we get out, and there's 6 of us. And let me tell you what, we did not stray real far from each other. And there was it was creepy. It was creepy. It takes a lot to creep me out. And I had a raging headache by the time we pulled into there. Mm. My stomach was doing flip-flops. And I'm okay.
That's the exact same. I can't even describe it. It was like the very, very, very first time I, went there was like driving in a car, like pull in we go past the sign that says Land Between the Lakes kind of thing. And I instantly got a migraine and I was so nauseous. I thought I was going to pass out. Like, I was like, I couldn't even breathe. I was like, it was, I felt like something was sitting on my chest. Like,
yeah, that came later.
I could not breathe.
Yeah.
It was,
well, we got out of,
it's intense.
It is. We got out of the truck and, I said something about it, and Chris and the gentleman in the other truck were like, yep, we're nauseous too, and yeah, it was just really wild. So we were at the cemetery at this point, and so like Eli and Robert, or not Eli, Levi and Robert were pointing toward the field behind us, right? And David and the gentleman guiding us, and we were all looking toward the cemetery, and Chris was kind of in there with us. And he's like shining his lights up in the trees. There was some eye shine. Now, I don't know what it was because nobody stayed on it real quick, but I caught it for just a second. But then they were like checking and the cemetery itself. And we kept hitting these two different stones. And every time they'd shine the lights and then they'd be somewhere else. And those stupid headstones, there was only two of them, would stay illuminated for about 20 seconds. And we were like, what the hell is that? Why? Right? Why?
Yeah.
That was weird. And it was only two of them that was doing it, So they kind of went in up to the cemetery a little bit, and they came back to the group. And we're all standing there. And so the gentleman that was guiding us, he had this high-powered flashlight. And he's going, like, he's now focusing on the very back of the cemetery where the tree line is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing behind him watching, right? And he goes past something, and I'm like, whoa! And I grab his shoulders and flip him back around. I'm like, there. And he's like, that's a tree with a knot. And I'm like, nope. So he keeps his light on it, and he starts moving around and trying to get a different angle on it. And he probably ends up about 10 or 15 feet away from me. But now this whole time, he's never taken his light off of that, right? And so he comes back over to me and he goes, that is not a tree with a knot in it. That's not a stump with a knot in it. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. Now, there was no eye shine. And I kept looking at it going, it was upright and it was brown. And I could not
stumped right now. I'm like, what? I'm stumped right now. I'm like,
well, yeah.
Well, and it was whatever it was just standing there, just not moving.
It was standing there, and I think it had its eyes closed because there was no eye shine. It was not moving. But you could see it, and it's like, what is that? I mean, it didn't freaking move. And at that point, he's like, yeah, we're not alone out here. I said, oh no, we are not alone out here, and he's like, but we don't normally bring, this many people out. He goes, I don't know that they're going to come out and do anything. He said, I'm kind of thinking that they may just sit here and watch us. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, I not really. No, I'm not wanting to be watched. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you that just about every, just about every person that I've talked to that has been to the LBL, who has had experiences or sightings or reports or whatever, almost every single one of them has a story or an encounter or a sighting of in a tree, or they've heard something jump or fall or something out of a tree and hit the ground. And eye shine in the tree. They always say, don't worry about the tree line. Don't look at the tree line. Look in the trees. Like, look up in the trees.
Well, so he would,
So
he
it
was
makes
telling
sense to me.
too. And David is like, David was losing his mind. He's like,
Yeah.
so he goes, so we don't only have to worry about the ground. We got to be looking in the trees now. He is losing his mind, right?
Yes.
And so for the rest of the evening, David's like, y'all have ruined camping for me. Y'all just have ruined my nighttime experiences in the woods, right?
I love it.
We're just laughing at him. We're laughing at him, We got back in the trucks at that point and we headed down the road because there was a spot in the road that David wanted to stop, And so we got back there and I told Robert, I said, I'm not getting out of the truck. I said, I'm going to be sick. I mean, I was on the verge of throwing up. It was just bad. I look around then. Well, everybody that had a gun had left us at that point. And I looked at him and I said, I'm getting out of the truck. And he goes, I said, all the guns are up there. And he's like, okay. So we go up there and they're like, I thought you said you weren't getting out of the truck. I said, y'all with the guns left me in the truck, and they kind of
all you people with the pew-pews took off.
Right. And
they could have at least gave you a slingshot or something, to like,
right.
defend yourself.
They're kind of laughing at me at that point, and so we're standing there. David's got a dog whistle. It's like a training whistle, and he's blowing that. And we're like, you've been told not to whistle in the woods at night. And he goes, that's exactly why I'm doing it. I'm like, if they come, we're sacrificing you because you did it.
I will tell you, Matt, I'll have to ask him where he got it, but he got this little whistle. And this, our favorite spot that we love to go to. Okay, they will come in at night, like they come in and they'll throw rocks at us, but not to hurt us, and they'll make noise, and we'll get activity, right?
Right.
But one night he did this. It's shaped like a bird, right? It's shaped like a bird.
Yeah.
And you add water to it.
Okay.
And then it's like a whistle, but it sounds, because of the water vibrating in it sounds exactly like a bird, but like a very high pitched.
Okay.
Let me tell you what. We did not. It was not a very friendly interaction that night. It was not. They were not having it. They were not liking it. Yeah, no. So
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So I don't do whistles. I don't like to do whistles out there. No.
Mm-mm. Yep. Mm-mm. Yep. Yeah, I understand. Well, we just kept looking at him and going, what are you doing? But at that point, I looked at them all and I said, okay, we're leaving. I said, because if I don't get out of here, I'm getting ready to get really sick. And I said, y'all are going to have to take care of me. And I don't do well when I'm ill. I'm not pleasant. So I said, we can leave or you can take care of me. It's up to you. So we all got back in the truck, and we headed out. And it took, by the time we were back on the pavement, I was feeling better, but I wasn't 100% at all. And we got back to camp and it was really weird. So as we turned off on the road, and we're driving back into the camp, I kept saying to Robert, I'm like, are you sure we're on the right road? And he goes, yes. And I remember seeing the sign. I know we turned onto the right road because I saw it. But it was the weirdest thing. It did not look like the right road. And I kept asking. And I know Levi and David thought I'd lost my mind. I'm like, are you sure we're on the right road? This just doesn't look right. For whatever reason, it didn't look right. And Robert's like, I know he's getting aggravated with me. He goes, we are on the right road, And so, yeah, it was well. The light in the cemetery. I don't remember that. Was it the tombstones that stayed lit up or was there another light? Because like I said, we had sound coming out of the field and we couldn't decide if that was deer or
Ryan. Hey, Ryan. This is
what
Mr.
that
Ryan,
was.
Mr. Ryan Tremblay, who is, he's in the community and been in the community a very long time.
Cool.
and
Well,
he's
welcome.
yeah, he's somebody you would love to have on your show.
Well, of course. Of
He knows
course,
a
we can
lot of
all
the lore, a lot about lore, a lot about, lots about a lot.
yeah, yeah. Well, of course, we'll have him
Mhm.
on. Reach out
Yeah,
to us. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear. I'm always open to hearing all kinds of the new things,
Mhm.
or the old things or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, we went back into camp that night, and I think we didn't roll back in till almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Did not feel like we had been out that long, but we had. Because I think that night we left camp at like 9 and it was like 2 in the morning when we got back. It was
Well,
ridiculous.
did you feel okay, so this was the same night that you were at the lake, right?
Yeah.
Where you said you didn't hear anything so do you feel like maybe you had some sort of missing time event? Do you think that's possible?
Well, hell, I hadn't thought about that till now. I don't want to think about that.
It's happened to me, so I get you. I didn't want to think about it either,
I mean, I don't know
but
if we were just so caught
makes
up
me
in
wonder
what we were doing
that you lost
that
track
it
of
didn't
time.
that we just lost track of it. I don't know.
Interesting.
I just remember when we got back looking at the clock going, "It's that late? Really?" You know? Um,
Interesting.
and I
Something
believe
like
it
that.
was that night because it was the next morning when we were up that Levi gets up and says, "Uh, were y'all up walking around last night?" I was like, "Do you know what time we got in? Are you kidding me?" "No, I did not leave that cot all night, buddy." And he's like, "I woke up," and he said
Hmm.
he had brought his dog, and his dog was, like, wrestling around a little bit, you know, kind of uncomfortable, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
Levi's laying there, and he said, the dog has alerted to something." So Levi had a tent and the girlfriend had a tent, and I guess it was because of the dog or whatever, right? And, so he hollered to her, and she's like, "Are you out walking around the tent?" He goes, No." And she's like, "Yeah, there's somebody walking around the tent," right? So Levi grabs the dog and they go to her tent. Well, he didn't see anything, right? And he laughed and he goes, "Yeah." Like 8 minutes later, she's like, "I need to go to the bathroom."
Of course.
And it was like it was not close, right? So him and her get out and they start walking to the bathroom, right? Well, they get down the road a little ways and the dog loses his mind. He starts
Oh,
barking. The first one was almost just it was a weird yelp type thing. And then he starts to bark. And Levi's like, "Oh my God," and comes running back, right? So they come back, they get the dog, they get in the truck, you know.
they have
But he
abandoned tents now at this point.
They have abandoned the tents. They're in
He's
the truck
he's
going
like
they're gonna go down and go to the bathroom at this point, right?
he's like, "Give me
So
aliens all day. Just
exactly,
keep y'all's
exactly.
Bigfoot over there."
Yep, exactly. Troy, I think that's about the same time that Levi's dog was up and awake. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
Interesting.
don't know if it was, they told us that there was like a plethora of raccoons down there. Um,
Okay.
So I don't know, but there was something going on in camp that night. So then Sunday we get up and we go out Sunday, and we went to a couple different places. The one place the gentleman told me about, we went there and he's like, "Oh, it's super creepy." And we get in there and I'm like, "Where?" It just wasn't creepy at all. And I'm like going, "Okay, would this place be creepy at night?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." So we went on down the road and went to a couple of spots where the gentleman that was guiding us um, they had 4 things drop out of the tree during the day on them.
Interesting. So they heard it. They just didn't see it.
Exactly. They heard it because he said him and his partner were out there and they weren't really like right next to each other, but they were close enough, right? Like he said, maybe 50 feet apart, something like that, a little bit farther. And he said they heard it. It was like, thump, 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 thump. And he goes, it was like they were semi surrounded. And he said, so we just kind of casually backed out of there, got out. And because it's one of those side roads off into the middle of nowhere, type of thing, right? Yeah. And so he's like, we just backed out of there. That day, we didn't go in any farther than where they had that. We stopped right there. And that's one of the places that I picked up 4 feathers, 3 in the forest, right there together, and 1 at the tree. And that's a sign for me. That's just something that I find a lot. I don't know, that's a sign for me. So we went on down and we ended up, at the supposed campground of the supposed massacre.
In 1982.
That was an interesting area. We walked through the some of the buildings, the ruins of the buildings, that kind of stuff.
You did send me a few photos. If you'd like, I could throw those up.
Yes, we can pull those up. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can go through those.
Let's see here. Give me 1 second.
Ryan's asking, for those of us who have found feathers, different birds, different things, the different colors of the a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, I had 4 in the backyard in one day. And I'm standing out there talking to the powers that be, going, okay, I got it. I promise I got it. I know what the message is. I'm paying attention.
Feathers have always been a big thing for me too. They've been very like you're on the right path, like confirmation, validation that I'm on the right path, whether that be spiritually or literally physically in the moment, kind of thing for me. It's always been a sign for me. Hold on here. I don't know what is going on. I'm trying to do share screen.
Chris, I would have to look up what the butterfly means. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Hold on. It is not letting me pull this up.
Well, that's all right. We can always put it up. Later if we can't get it up right now. But and then we stopped. So we walked around there. There was a cemetery across from that. And then we went back down to Nicholas Cemetery, which was right on the main, that main strip through there. What they call it, the Trace. Is that right?
Yes, called the Trace.
Okay. So it was right off of that. So we pulled over there. We walked around and, he's like, so the very back part of this cemetery, there's a lot of activity back here, right? We're like, okay. Well, as we're standing there, there's women walking the bike path, right? So the bike path comes right next to this. And we're like, okay, that's interesting. So at that point, we go back to camp. We do our stuff in camp. We have our speakers. And then, there you go. So that is some of the buildings that is at that supposed campground.
And they're just like empty, abandoned, like concrete structures.
Yeah. Just sitting out in the middle of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. Just out in the middle of nowhere. That's one. And then you sent me a second one. And it's kind of like a little bit closer. Is that the same? No, that's the same one, isn't it?
There's two right there together. So that was those that we were kind of looking around this.
There
and of course, there's like graffiti on them. The kids have been out there, messing around and that type of stuff. But yeah, there's also like there's a foundation that has stairs out there.
Yeah, the stairs to nowhere.
Yeah, the stairs to nowhere. Yeah, we were laughing about that. But yeah, there's just some interesting stuff out there. But we went back. So we went back to camp because we had dinner. Gary made chili that night. It was phenomenal. Martin Groves showed up and we got to visit with him for a little while. We had our speakers that night. And then we decided that we were going back to the Massacre site that night. So,
happy joy. Let's go to let's go at night. This is what happens when you hang out with Marianne, just so y'all know. When you hang out with her, that's what happens to you. Okay. And yet she's the one that doesn't use any pew-pews. And you're like, but you want us to go to a place where a supposed massacre happened, Marianne. And she's like, yeah, I know. Get in the truck.
Well, okay. So I do now have a pew-pew because my children were losing their minds over that. So I do have that now, Okay. I just didn't have it out there where I should have had it. But I didn't do my due diligence and didn't ask about the gun laws. And so I just left it. But now I know. So anyway.
Yeah.
But we headed out there. And Chris and Gary, they stayed at the cemetery because Gary had twisted his knee. So he was with us because Gary has a pew-pew. And so they were sitting there and Wayne was sitting there. And so it was Robert and I and Stormy and David. And we all went out walking around, right? Mm-hmm. And David is hilarious. David's got a high-powered light. And every so often he'd be walking, and the next thing he squatted down, and he's like, "I shine," and we're just dying laughing at him out there. He's loving it.
I got
even
one.
Even though he's losing his mind. Yeah. And that's
there he is, David.
That's his Wicked Witch bicycle. Because every time I would see him coming riding down the road, I could hear the theme song to the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Oh my God. It was hilarious. But he was a hoot. But we crawled all over that hillside that night. We were back in those buildings all over the place, right? I got this phenomenal picture of the spider web. It was just
I got that too.
Unreal. I'm going to have that blown up. I just think that's crazy. But anyway, so, we had been out there. Yeah, this is taken at night. I thought that was freaking amazing. And that thing was like over 6 feet up in the air. It was just wild. But
you go, girl. You go, girl. No spiders for this girl. I can do everything and anything. I don't care what it is. Snakes, lizards, nothing bothers me. Spiders, no.
See, me, it's the snakes. It's like you and Jennifer sending me that crap today. I don't care if it's a baby snake. It's still a snake. It's a snake. Okay. I don't even like the big fat night crawlers. Nope. That is the only time you'll hear me squeal and run.
Yeah, you would not be able, no, you would definitely not want to live in Florida because there's snakes all over. So
Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I don't have a problem with spiders. I was, at one point in time walking through the woods, swinging my arms to get rid of the spider webs. But no snakes. So we loaded back up and we said, okay, well, we're going to go to the cemetery now. We're going to go to the other cemetery, right? And we get up there, and of course, you got to unlock the gate, all this good stuff. And we go to the very back where he's told us to go. And we're out there shining lights and just all kinds of stuff, right? Nothing. We're just standing out there talking at this point. Gary and Robert are out checking out the headstones, right? And so it's Chris and I and David and Stormy. We're all in the back. And we're just kind of messing around, checking what, and we heard something. And we were like, what was that? And so David's spotlighting, checking everything out. We didn't see anything. Right? Well, luckily, Chris has the therm. And it's been a couple of minutes. And she's like, hog. We're like, oh, shit. Okay. So
time to roll.
Oh, my God. She turns around and she's gone. I don't know. She goes about 10 or 15 feet. And then she turns back around and she's therming again. And she's like, big damn hog, run.
Time to go.
Oh, my God. It was hilarious. So we're all running through the cemetery. Gary and Robert are like, okay, they come along. And about that time, Chris is like, it's on the bike path. The bike path dumps out at where the trucks are parked. It's like, oh shit. So now we're like running. We get out there. And so at this point, Gary is at the head of the bike path with the gun out. He's like, get in the trucks. Well, I've got to shut and lock the gate. I can't get the damn
your
gate.
lights out. Your lights off. Your light is off.
Well, where did my light go? It didn't go off. It's still here.
Weird.
Maybe I just got too far away from it.
Okay, there you go. That's better.
A little bit better. So I'm trying to get the damn gate. I'm like, okay, take a breath. There's a man standing there with a gun. There's another man with another gun. Take a breath and get the damn gate shut. So I get the gate shut. Chris is in the truck. Stormy's in the truck. Gary's still out there, and I get the gate locked, get in the truck. He's like, clear, everybody get in the truck. Let's go.
But you see, this is what's so great because, excuse me, when you're out there and you're put in these situations, these crazy, wild situations because of curiosity, right? We're all out there looking for the same things, trying to find evidence of something, right? And you're put in these crazy situations with these people you've never even met before. This is how they become your family so quickly.
Oh, yes. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's so it's just amazing that people can just form these quick bonds and connections, over these things and have stories for the rest of their life to share,
Oh my God, right? Some of the stories that we have, things that have happened, it's just like people wouldn't believe us if they weren't with us, and they don't understand. Like I said, I'm going to video Levi one night in the truck because he usually rides with Robert and I, and he starts the minute he gets in the truck, and it's like it doesn't stop. When I first met him, I wasn't sure if they were jokes or not. Well, they are, but it's his delivery of how he does it and stuff, and it's just funny. I mean, I had a blast. I will go back. I
may have to go with you next time.
Right, girl. Exactly. Yeah. It just was, the people are phenomenal. When these people that you meet at these events, they do become your tribe. And,
they do.
It's like they just become the tribe. And that's exactly what we're looking for, is the like-minded people, Yes. And I think we found them, This weekend, I was invited back to Kentucky. I was invited to Louisiana. I've been invited to Alabama. It's like, okay, I need to win the lottery so Robert and I can retire in Bigfoot all the time.
I'm right there with you, girl. I'm right there with you.
Right. Well, I need that entourage too. So,
Oh, I'll help you. I got you. I'll carry your eyelashes.
Yes, right. Exactly.
It's a girly girl thing. That's all you know.
I don't do a lot of that, but I got to have the lashes. I'm to
I
the point.
know.
I have to have the lashes,
And they
So
look fabulous.
thank you. Thank you. But, well, at this point, we're a little over an hour. Do you have anything you would like to add this evening?
I would like for everybody to remember, and I'm going to stick it on the screen right now. Give me one moment. Please don't forget that the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference is October 4th in Springfield, Missouri. If you have not purchased your tickets, you better get going on it. You got less than a month. Today's September 5th. You have less than a month. So get your tickets. Go to Eventbrite to get your tickets for the conference. Okay. In the show description, there's a link to the Facebook page. Definitely go. If you want to participate in the VIP, right? The VIP they can get on Eventbrite too, right?
Yes, the VIP tickets and the day of conference tickets can be all obtained on Eventbrite.
On Eventbrite.
But if you want to go out and camp with us crazy ladies, you got to get a hold of me on Facebook through Ozark Mountain Bigfoot.
Yes.
And we have fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yes.
Because it's not just us. It's not, it's not just the crazy ladies. I mean, all the speakers come out and they camp with us.
Yes.
And it's, right after the conference on Saturday, we head out, we go directly to the property. Everybody kind of gets their tents up, gets settled into the property for the night. Nothing really happens. We all just kind of settle in, and that's it. You're there until Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So, you're all that time and you're also a lot. That's where all of like the education goes on and takes place there too, because not only do we go out and do things at night and sometimes during the daytime, we do little things, but there's always, somebody showing you how to use casting material, showing you how to track, talking to you about, different, aspects. I think David is going to talk some more about evidence collection and things like that, right?
Yeah, David's going to teach a casting class, a forensics evidence class. I mean, I tell you what, if you guys haven't got to listen to David, spend time with David, he is a wealth of knowledge about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
And your interview, and Jennifer's interview was again just earlier in the week, so it's already on the channel. So if you have nothing to do, as soon as we're done here, you can go right over there and watch the episode with David Zagan. And it's very enlightening. Very enlightening. He's amazing.
He's amazing. I can't tell you how much. And I will tell you right now, if you can't come to the conference, I'm bringing him back at the end of October for the BFRO expedition. So if you can't come to the conference, come see him at the BFRO expedition. We're going into another area that is highly active. So hopefully David will get something that makes him go, okay, these really, okay,
Well, and now, is that going to be in Arkansas? Is that
no? That one's in Missouri. 2 weeks. We're going to be in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I
let's
still
tell
have
everybody. Let's tell everybody. You're not.
So if you guys are interested in going on an expedition with us, I do the BFRO ones. Go to bfro.net. Right now, we are going into Arkansas, September the 18th through the 21st. There's still a few spots left. Then the next one I'm doing is over Halloween. It's going to be October the 30th through November the 2nd. It's in a very active area part of the state. And David's going to be there. And you guys just, like I said, go on to bfro.net and click on the states, and it'll take you through everything that you need to do for that.
Yes. And I just put the link in the chat for your Facebook page. So if you guys, if there's anybody in the chat like Brian, Who wants to? They would love to have you on the show, Ryan. It would be a blast. You and Jen will gel, Ryan. Trust me. Lore, she loves all that stuff. So definitely reach out to them.
Yes.
I just put the link for the Facebook page. So if you want to reach out to Marianne regarding the expedition for this year for the conference, please reach out to her with that through that. I just dropped the Eventbrite link to buy tickets to the conference and to the VIP night. And what's happening that's going to be fun at the VIP night?
So the VIP night, we're going to the Elks Lodge. We're serving dinner. We're going to have ribs, pork butt, chicken. We got sides to go with that. And we're going to be doing a live podcast. Brian is going to be doing that. We're going to have questions for all of the other speakers, audience participation. That's all going to be recorded that night. So that's going to be the VIP night. And then the conference is the next day. It's at a Relics Event Center. And then we leave directly from there and we head out to camp. So that's what we do. We have a good time. We enjoy it. I tell you what, you'll love it. I mean, just the time that you get out there, with everybody, they'll just become family. They just become your family.
And you've got a special guest this year who's going to maybe be doing some campfire stories for us at nighttime.
Yes, he is. Yep. Brian's going to be out there sharing his book and Coda's Odyssey. He's gonna be doing some reading. And you guys, we've got RPG. Oh my God. If nothing else, this man is entertaining. Let me tell you what, you have to come and see this man. He's hysterical. I can't wait to be in the woods with him. I've never been in the woods with him. There is no telling what kind of trouble we're going to get in.
Oh, girl, you don't even know. Like I told you, I met him on my very first putting a pinky toe into this subject. He was on my very first expedition. And you're going to laugh so hard. You're going to lose your breath. You're going to break a rib. I guarantee you. Before the week's over, you're going to break a rib. He's great.
Yes, it is. So one last thing, guys. I think we are at 97 subscribers.
Yes.
Share it with everybody. Let's get to 100 this weekend. Share this with everybody.
Oh, and breaking news, special report, breaking news. We have hit 100. You have hit 100 subscribers right here tonight.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. We appreciate that.
I guess you need to set another goal, girl.
I do. Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming and spending this time with us tonight. I'm humbled by how many of you came out for us tonight, this being our first show. And I'm so grateful. I enjoy this tremendously. And, I'm just absolutely, Rista, let's go for it, baby. Let's rack them up. But yeah, I can't wait to hang with you guys. Thank you for spending this time with us. And we'll see you again shortly. And remember, show me your Bigfoot.
That's it. These ladies want to see your Bigfoot.
Yep. Show me your Bigfoot.
And not your Bigfoot, but Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you.